General, officials that would administer whatever we have agreed upon. For example, all the resolutions of the Africa-South America Summit, there's no implementing agency. So the next meeting we meet, then somebody that who is going to host it will prepare a report and say, well, so far this is what has happened. And that's not a serious thing. So in the case of the Arab-Africa Summit and the Africa-South America Summit, we should have proper structures that will administer and make sure that resolutions or declarations are implemented to the letter. And we all realize that it is also very is necessary and is long overdue. The other aspect of it also is to host it every 3 years. The world is so fast evolving, things are changing so rapidly, that it is not prudent to hold a summit once every 3 years, especially when you don't have a secretariat that is going to take care of, make up the follow-up, what has been achieved and what has not been achieved, what has been implemented and what has not been implemented. So we also suggested that the time frame should really be reduced. And so, but everybody left. This is one of the best organized Arab-Africa Summit.
Well, the third Afro-Arab Summit brought together leaders and organizations from over 70 countries who discussed, among other topics, renewed strategic partnership in dealing with the myriad of problems confronting the bi-regional grouping. Keba Diba attended the summit in Kuwait City and now assesses the outcome of the forum.
Decades comes against the backdrop of dramatic and fast evolving changes. But the sense of urgency here in Kuwait is more palpable now than ever. With a combined population of 1.2 billion people, or 18% of the global population, leaders of this bi-regional grouping are aware that inaction or even procrastination is no longer an option. The stakes are simply too high, from insecurity to political instability, food insecurity and poverty, migration and trade, infrastructure and agriculture, energy and employment. The issues are not only many, but complex. The priorities will then have to be set right.
Here at the Kuwait Summit, the emphasis is more on economic development and investment, and less on contentious and divisive politics, or even development aid. The watchword here is genuine strategic partnership, as both regions are blessed with mineral deposits and natural resources in infinite abundance.
The summit is as much about the catalogue of problems as it is about the mechanisms to fix them. Professor Jammeh proposed a mechanism laying greater emphasis on the necessary structures for coordination and implementation of decisions and projects. The President went further to suggest the establishment of a fund to be financed through proportionate contributions from member countries.
For a long time we are relying on donors, and that is why His Excellency gave the proposal that each country should be contributing a particular percentage of its external export. 10%, 5% is up to you. And look at how many African countries, how many Arab countries, and look at the huge resources between that are flowing within these countries. So if each country contributes at least 5% or 10% of its GDP, the external export, then you know that will constitute a vast pool of resources for this new organization. Then the organization will not need to be begging. So it will be financially fine. Human resource-wise, you cannot talk about that. And that's why the President is saying that we should be having more frequent meetings. Even once every 3 years is too long. The potencies are too much. So maybe after every 2 years, with a permanent secretary and with proper coordination, the organization will be able to achieve its objective.
The new strategic partnership being envisaged has to be anchored on the spirit of shared benefits and mutual interest. African leaders parading begging balls at such fora is no longer an option. Africa has got much to offer, according to the Secretary General and Minister of Presidential Affairs.
Contrary to widespread perceptions, Africa has something to offer. Not something to offer, but we have things to offer that are as good as what any other part of the world can offer. I think this has been noticed, and this helps us to stand on a stronger ground in terms of our negotiations with our counterparts. I think this is a wonderful new opportunity for Africa.
The bottlenecks in direct trade between the two regions can be better addressed by cutting off the third-party influence, which bears significant negative impact.
We do trade through third parties. You buy Saudi Arabian oil through Total, France. They buy goods from Africa through some English company or some European company. And each company that you buy from is adding up a premium because they are not the producers. So if you buy from any Western company, oil from any Arab country, they add a premium to the price and make profit. Which means if we had gone directly to buy directly from the source, we would have eliminated that premium, which is the commission, and that's very important. But importantly also, you realize that most of our cooperation is between is through third parties. So this summit is really very important.
The widely held notion that the Arab world's contributions to Africa's development are insignificant compared to the West does not stand the volume of evidence. To the contrary.
They were full of praises for the state of Kuwait for continuing to support African development in various countries, regardless of religion, regardless of culture, regardless of geographical entity.
There is a new sense of optimism here in the new partnership being envisaged, and the consensus on the range of issues is a clear manifestation.
Well, you can see that everybody living is smiling. That means that this is one of the most successful Arab-Africa summits. And everybody is going home with high spirit, because this is the first time that you have a comprehensive summit where every issue has been treated. And so it's a very, very successful summit with regards to our commitments. But what will make it more successful is when what we have agreed on is put into practice, and that's the big challenge.
The Kuwaiti summit ended Wednesday with calls for greater strategic partnership for investment and economic development. The Emir of Kuwait, His Highness Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Jabbar Al Sabah, announced a loan package of $5 billion for African countries over a period of 5 years. But the two regions' security and political problems will have to be confronted head-on.
Investment, development, partnership, all that will have to be anchored on solid peace and security. These are kind of rare commodities within these two regions.
No. There's nothing that is impossible if the will is there. By the grace of the Almighty Allah.
The fourth Afro-Arab Summit will be held in an African country, but the date and actual venue are yet to be disclosed. President Jammeh also held brief discussions with the Emir of Kuwait on the sidelines of the summit. Kebadiwa, GRTS, Kuwait City.
The Independent Electoral Commission has endorsed the candidacy of Mina Tanjai of Kolikunda, who will be the flag bearer for the ruling Alliance for Patriotic Reorientation and Construction and the opposition National Reconciliation Party's Ture Bajinka. The two will contest the vacant Kiang West National Assembly seat in the December 5th by-election. Our reporter Ibrahim Balde, who was present at the event in the regional headquarters of Mansa Konko, says campaigning for the National Assembly by-election for the said constituency will kick off on the 23rd of November 2013 with voting set for the 5th of December 2013. The International Training Centers, in collaboration with Agribusiness Service and Producers Association, recently held a 3-day meeting at the Farmers Training Center in Junoy. The workshop, which gathered over 100 farmers across the country, is aimed at outlining the constraints in groundnut production and mapping out strategies to further improve production in the country. Rohibite reports.
For most of the Gambia's farming population. It is for this reason that the development of agricultural services and national industrial complex evolved around groundnut production, processing and marketing. Over the period, groundnut production fluctuated widely because of marketing constraints in terms of mobilization of financial resources to purchase the crop, resulting in producers shifting to other crops. It's against this platform that the International Training Center, in collaboration with the Agribusiness Services and Producers Association, organized training for the stakeholders and sector management teams. The interface is to focus on the value chain analysis, which includes farming, handling, processing and marketing operations in observance for quality assurance in the preparation for the 2013-2014 groundnut marketing season. Bringing together over 100 farmers and farm representatives, the training, as the ASPA Executive Secretary Abdullah Khan highlighted, aims to identify the challenges confronting the groundnut value chain and map out strategies in addressing those challenges. As the training was funded by Enhanced Integrated Framework under the Ministry of Trade, Project Coordinator Mol Toure and the Deputy Permanent Secretary Mot Lamin Sise